making movies is really an ingenious process at the best of times for all departments, and I think that New Zealanders are probably ideally suited to it because we are very ingenious. And the fact that we're making a film like this and we're doing it in an old railway shed, it's freezing cold, hence the fact we're wearing coats. I mean, there's times that we're filming in here and there's mist on our breaths, it's so freezing, and the set has been knocked together out of bits of 4x2 and chipboard, particle board, and there's just so much detail on the set that's made out of paint lids, paint tin lids and yogurt pots, and it's just, it's exciting because you're creating an illusion, the whole thing, which is one of the things that I like so much about filmmaking, is the whole, as I say, the magical thing, the creating of illusion, and the fact that you're what people see on screen comes from a place like this is just quite amazing.
Play that.
Scene 97.
Oh no, it's a good, eh?
This is a historic moment, Arthur. Tonight we rocket into superstardom. It's an honor to be a part of it, Mr. Bleach.
Okay, we cut.
All the dialogue tracks were recorded before we started shooting, because the easiest way to make a film like this is to have your dialogue, your voices of your characters already recorded on a tape, and then just do the puppeteering to playback. So in actual fact, what I've had to do is direct the film twice. Before we ever started shooting, I spent 3 days in a studio with some actors and directed their performance all the way through vocally. And I mean, obviously while I was doing that, I had to think of the visual nature of the film as well, because if they were, for instance, going to be saying a line of dialogue while they were getting up off a chair, you've actually got to make it sound as if they are. They've got to put a bit of effort into their voices. So I actually had to have it pretty clear in my mind what the pictures were going to be, that were going to be linked up with these voices. And it was an interesting exercise, because by having all the voice track recorded before we ever shot, I was able to sit down at home, lie on the couch and shut my eyes and basically just run the tape through the whole 90 minutes of it, and just visualise the movie.
Jackson's hands-on approach means he directs and operates the camera.
Sign coming up. I made a decision right at the beginning that I'd be the camera operator on the Feebles. It's not because I'm a particularly good camera operator, but I've just come from a background where I've sort of shot everything I've made. My Super 8 movies that I made when I was young, I operated the camera on. I did most of the camera operating on Bad Taste, and I think the thought of just sitting back as a director on the Feebles was actually a little bit of a worry to me. I just wanted to be in there and more involved. The other advantage too was that because the puppets are your performers, and just the nature of the puppeteering and the way that they come across on camera, unless you're looking right down the lens at what you're getting, you're never quite sure of the way the puppets are coming across. They look different from certain angles.
Right now, the stage, oh hang on, it's all wrong guys, let's just forget about it. Well, I bought that one. Everything was wrong. The stage started turning too soon, the sign came up too soon, it was all wrong.
Yeah, back it down.
Put your hands together for the fabulous Feebles Variety Hour.
Meet the Feebles, meet the Feebles. We're not your average, ordinary people. Meet the Feebles, meet the Feebles.
This is a historic moment, Arthur. Tonight we rocket into superstardom. It's an honor to be a part of it, Mr. Bleach.
More than this.
How difficult is it to direct puppets as opposed to human actors?
Well, of course, what you were in effect doing is directing the puppeteers, although it's interesting because you get so jaded on a shoot like this that half the time you're not actually directing the puppeteers at all. You're not talking to the puppeteers down below. You're actually looking straight at the faces of the puppets, and you're asking the puppet to do things. You have to sort of shake your head from time to time and stop yourself doing that because you do start to think of them as characters. You go inside the storeroom where we keep them all, and you walk in, and although they're all lifeless, sort of stuck on hooks or on poles, you actually know them all, and you almost expect them to turn and talk to you, and you know each of their characteristics and their personalities. It's really weird.
Blurring of reality and illusion.
It is, yeah. We call it feebleitis.
Oh dear.
The most important thing is to give life to the puppets, to make a special personality in every puppet. We have to think about how the actor voice it is and how the puppet is made, and then we have to start working. How's the puppet gonna move? How's the feelings the puppet has inside, and what sort of situations we can create with the puppet? And we start giving life to the puppet. I think is the most important thing.
Does he come alive?
Oh yes, he comes alive very, very easily because he has these wonderful, wonderful big eyes. They have a lot of expression. And he has a wonderful face that is really cute. And these tiny, tiny little fingers. Then you can create more of this.
He does have a personality of his own, doesn't he?
Oh yes. He's, when I grabbed this puppet the first time, I just started working with him, and in, I don't know, 1 hour, I just could move it.
Fell in love with him.
Yes.
It's only at the end of the day, when viewing the rushes, that Jackson and the crew finally see what's worked.
The old chair and
But getting a couple of Feebles to talk and smoke cigars is relatively simple.
What's much more difficult is to get a puppet to walk into a room, open the door, walk across to the other side and sit at a desk. I mean, that is so difficult, because if you were doing it with humans, if you were shooting a normal drama, you'd probably just do it in one camera shot, stick the camera there, they come in, walk across and sit down. But with puppets, it's impossible to make them do that type of movement in one shot. I mean, so you've got to split something that simple up into 2 or 3 different camera angles, and you've got to shoot a separate shot of them walking into the door where you have to maybe take the floor out and get them in, and then you cut, because it's as far as the puppeteer's arm can reach. You can't get any further. So then you have to take more of the floor out and rig a dolly so that you can wheel him across the room as he makes the puppet walk across. But then he can't get up into the chair because you'd see the arm that's stuck up the puppet. So then you've got to change your angle and hide the arm with a desk or something else, a prop, and then he sits up. So to do most simple action, the most basic sort of action is it's just time-consuming and difficult.
We've got to talk. We've got a crisis on our hands. Wynyard's killed his assistant. RB's out of action. Sid's routine is a complete write-off. We've got no alternative but to reinstate my song.
No!
But I'm sorry, but the show is in a shambles.
This is a family show, for Christ's sake. The network would never allow it.
But it's a superb piece of song and dance. I know it'll go down.
Well, let's get into this scene, Peter. This is the we've had there's a lot of trouble with the old wires and things.
This is a scene that I really dreaded shooting.
I know, it's what I dreaded cutting.
Well, I know we just had enormous difficulty with these strings, because I was trying to get full-length shots of Sebastian. I mean, all the time I was seeing the strings through the camera, but I just hoped like hell that we were going to get a bit that...
Well, you've sort of covered enough shots so we can get them up on the desk, all right?
When we come to edit the movie, it's the first time that the magic slowly starts to filter back for me. It's been broken down into tiny little fragments, shots that by themselves are just meaningless, but you finally start to see it join back together again, and it comes, hopefully comes close to the original idea that you conceived.
Yeah, okay. We're going to hold the moon back there, and we're going to tape the black cloth up, and we're going to do a shot of the Feebles doing the closing number, Meet the Feebles 2 verses. Then we're going to take the moon back down, rig the machine gun up, put Heidi on it, pull it back, set the bomb releases, and away we go.
Actor Danny Mulheron doesn't usually get about like this. He's one of the script writers for Feebles, but he's also the man in Heidi's life. It's hot work wearing a hippopotamus, clothes or no clothes, so the crew turn a blind eye when he rehearses naked.
Okay, grab the shooter. Got the shooter, Johnny?
All right.
Yeah, I've got a
centre line there. It's down the line, that black tape in the middle.
What?
Can someone hold the gun so it doesn't swing around? We need shorty.
You there, Don? Now you're...
Heidi's the strangest role Mulheron has played, and the most difficult to shake off.
How on earth do you get out of this thing?
Head first.
Right.
Karen.
Pull it. Yeah. That's it. Gently.
Oh, it's heavy.
You good.
Why don't you sit down?
Great. Thank you.
What's it like being stuck inside that big blob of foam rubber all day?
It's smelly, and that gives you a real pain in the neck, especially when you're horizontal, because it sort of pulls back. But it's quite good. It smells like rancid butter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've been wearing it for about a couple of months now, so it's rather aromatic.
Pretty unpleasant.
Yeah.
How do the other guys on the show treat you when you're dressed up in one of your more sexy numbers?
Oh, the sexy numbers. Well, it changes. When I'm in a sort of regal outfit, I've got an entourage of people, and I sort of wander around, and hundreds of people follow me. But when I'm in one of the outfits which are sort of more revealing, well, people leap on top of me, basically, which is sort of rather unnerving.
How do you cope with that?
Well, you've got to just take it in your stride, really. There's not a lot I can do. I can't actually tell who it is. I think it was the director at one stage. Some sort of... I think I'm a mother figure.
No close-ups, lads.
In a scene that could be called Heidi's Revenge, the hippo triggers a Peter Jackson special of splatter magic and puppet gore.
Well, you said it was going to be easy. You know, I do want to make the sort of films that I like watching, so what I've had to try and do with the Feebles is make the sort of puppet film that I would like to watch. You know, if I had to go and sit down and watch a puppet film for an hour and a half, you know, what would I like to see? And so that's really what I've tried to do with the Feebles.
Hi?
I'm doing the CO2.
Oh, yeah? Ah.
I need to put the strings.
I think I need to put the strings. What's going down here? Yeah.
Okay, that'll do, Richard. Good vomit work.
Okay, we'll shoot. Stand by on the carrot. And action, carrot. Lower it down.
Yeah, that's pretty good speed. No, you got shots on number ones? I haven't given some. I will look at the ones in, so they're about. Yes.
I don't want to sound grand and big-headed, stupid, but I mean, I think it will do the film industry good. I think that there's a certain image of a New Zealand film, you know, in the audiences in here, in the public's mind in New Zealand and overseas, I guess, to an extent, of, you know, being quite naturalistic types of movies, you know, slices of life rather than slices of cake. And I hope that with Bad Taste and now with the Feebles that people can see that, you know, that we can make slices of cake in New Zealand just as well as they can overseas. We don't have the budgets to spend, but we can produce these types of movies too.